So President Cyril Ramaphosa has announced that he will be convening a national dialogue on the 16th of August of 2025. This is where he intends to get together a whole lot of politicians and eminent persons, I presume his mates or other BE grandees. They're going to get together and discuss the South African situation. This kind of thing will give me a heart attack. It raises two questions. What do you expect to hear that you don't know already? And secondly, why are you doing it in the first place? Because this is a typical ANC idea. Let's start off with the what do you expect to hear? South Africa has got no economic growth and nearly 50% unemployment. We've got grinding poverty and people going to bed hungry. Right? That is 3/4 of our problem in this country because our economy doesn't grow. So you're going to get together and surely this is going to dominate the discussion. It has to be the most important issue. It's not like we're going to get invaded by Zimbabwe or there's no other imminent threat to South Africa. The threat is from the inside because we have no economic growth. So surely, that's like the bulk of what you need to discuss in any dialogue. Secondly, Mr. President, you and your fellow ministers, including your white Minister of Agriculture, as you called him, sat in the Oval Office and told President Donald Trump and the rest of the world that crime is out of control in South Africa. In fact, you went as far as to say there is no white genocide of farmers. In fact, there's a genocide of everybody. You said it proudly as if this was some kind of achievement. So we have a safety and security problem. The leader of COSATU, Ms. Losi, even said, no, that's not so bad. You should see what we're doing to old women. We're raping them and slitting their throats in townships. So maybe safety and security is the second thing you're going to hear at your national dialogue. Okay? And then what else are we going to hear? We're going to hear that our local government is an absolute mess, which has resulted in our cities crumbling, our infrastructure falling apart. The Auditor General released her findings on local government, and it is a mess. And this is where people live. There are no street lights. The streets have got potholes. Traffic lights no longer work. The taps don't turn on. That is what you're going to hear at your national dialogue. There's nothing else that really matters. Everything else flows from that. If you're going to go there hoping to hear that the problem is that there's not enough black directors in the few companies that do work, well, perhaps you should do that inside your own office. But that's not part of our national crisis. So you're going to have a national dialogue to hear what? The stuff we know already. So that raises the question then. If we know what the problems are, and we do, right? You don't need to get people together at great expense at some 5-star hotel where you have to fly them to a central place and sleep them and feed them and buy them shiny shoes, right? You can do it for free. Just get your information right here. Why are they doing it? Well, I recently did a piece on the state of the nation where I said, beware of the ANC's bread and circuses, where they keep on using little tricks to distract the South African public from their own non-performance. And this is a championship distraction from what is really at play here. And that is that the government isn't doing their own work. They are trying to do this so that any question that comes up in the next 2 months can be answered, well, don't worry, we're not going to do anything about it. We're going to discuss it at the national dialogue. And then as the national dialogue happens is we are applying our minds to the findings of the national dialogue. And then afterwards they're going to say, well, you know what came out at the national dialogue is that we've got a bad economy and we need safety and security and we need to do something at local government level. And we've now put together a task team. And the task team will be ready in March next year. And in actual fact, because of the findings of the national dialogue, we might just have to move the local government elections out to 2027 instead of 2026. This is all a trick. It's a trick to distract us. It's a trick to distract the GNU partners that should be paying a political price for the non-performance of the government of national unity. They deserve to be paying a price because they've been in this government of national unity for a year and the situation has not improved. And what do? They're going to go to government. They're going to say, guys, we need to start working. And the ANC is going to slow play it by saying, but remember the national dialogue. We're still applying our minds. We still need to decide what needs to be done. Just give us a couple of months. We'll come back to you. This is a really bad idea, and we should reject it with every part of our ability. This is absolute rubbish. Join me again if I don't have a heart attack between now and then on the Political Insider. Thank you very much.